In a world dominated by emotional games and power struggles, especially in modern relationships, silence has become the most underestimated yet potent tool you can possess. When someone pulls away, particularly a woman who once seemed invested, the common advice is often to move on or stop caring. But the truth is more complex. She may still care, but she's playing a game of control and waiting to see how you'll respond. Your silence, your restraint, and your emotional detachment are what flip the script. Why silence is the ultimate power move? Most people react. They chase after someone who becomes distant. They overthink every message, every silence, every change in behavior. And in doing so, they give away their power. The person who pulls away gains leverage, not because they've earned it, but because the other person handed it over out of fear, insecurity, and desperation. But silence? Controlled, intentional silence? It's devastatingly powerful. When you don't respond, when you don't play the game, you break the expectation. You show that you are not dependent on their attention, and that you don't need their validation to feel whole. She expects you to react. Women often test men not out of malice, but to gauge their emotional strength. They delay responses, go cold, and act unavailable. Yet they still make sure you notice them. Posting pictures, watching your stories, staying visible. They want to see if you'll break. Most men do. They send double texts, over-apologize, and try to fix what isn't broken. This is precisely what costs them respect. When you don't react, you trigger something unexpected. Doubt. Doubt in her mind begins to grow. Did she misjudge you? Are you really moving on? Have you already become the man she feared losing? Silence shifts the control. Silence forces people to face themselves. It creates uncertainty. When you stop reacting, she starts wondering. The dynamic flips. She checks her phone. She replays your last conversation. She watches your old messages. She starts doing what you used to do, but now it's her spiraling. The fear she once instilled in you now consumes her. Eventually, she will test the waters again. Maybe a vague text or a casual interaction. Most men, desperate for reconciliation, respond instantly. But what she's really doing is checking if she still has control. Once she confirms it, she disappears again. That's why the strongest response is no response at all. If she truly regrets losing you, she will prove it. Not with breadcrumbs, but with genuine effort. Doubt turns into regret. Women often believe they have all the time in the world, that the man they're testing will always be there, waiting. But when that man evolves, when he levels up emotionally, mentally, and physically during the silence, he becomes untouchable. This transformation terrifies her. She thought she could always return. Now her subtle hints and tests are met with silence. Her friends start questioning the narrative. The silence becomes louder than any confrontation could. And that's when she realizes she may have lost someone truly valuable. The return test, and how to pass it. She may eventually reach out again. A vague text, a memory she shares, an indirect post. These are tests, not confessions. They're not about rekindling the relationship. They're about validating her control. Most men fail by replying instantly. But if you've mastered emotional detachment, you don't take the bait. When you don't react, she feels the real weight of your absence. Her attempts escalate. She may post provocative content, talk to other guys, or send increasingly emotional messages. But none of it is real unless she genuinely acknowledges her mistake. Until then, your silence is the answer. Detachment is the highest form of power. Detachment is not about being cold. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about realizing that you don't need external validation to feel worthy. When you stop needing her to tell you that you matter, when you stop reacting to her games, you become free. Free from the emotional roller coaster, from the cycle of chasing, from the prison of needing someone else's attention. Emotionally detached men are respected. They are the ones who walk into rooms with presence. They don't chase, they attract. They don't beg, they build. And in doing so, they become the man that women regret losing. Not because he played games, but because he played by his own rules. The real victory. When she finally realizes she lost you, when she's ready to come back for real, you'll already be gone. Not out of spite, but because you've grown beyond needing her. You've become a man focused on his goals, his growth, and his peace. The man she tried to test no longer exists. The real prize isn't her attention, it's the man you've become in the process. That's true power. That's real self-respect. And that's why she'll never forget you. From this moment forward, remember this. you are untouchable.